Hello, all. Today, our topic is An Angel in Disguise. Timothy Shea Arthur was a popular 19th century American author, most famous for his novel 10 Nights in a Bar Room and What I Saw There, which was written in 1854. His novel, which demonized alcohol and the evils of its overconsumption, held great sway over the American public. His prolific stories and novels promoted the sound values, beliefs, and habits of the well mannered middle class. One of his famous short stories, An Angel in Disguise, also deals with social evils and redemption through love. In An Angel in Disguise, we have the themes of kindness, gratitude, and transformation through love. An Angel in Disguise, with its strong vocabulary, complex sentences, realistic setting, and vivid points of view, stresses on the importance of love and care in one's life. How love drives out even the darkest and deepest bitterness out of a person. Each character in this story strikes a chord in our heart with either their downright cruelty or with their kindness and unconditional love. The setting of the events is portrayed in a general and realistic way with more than one theme. The main theme is, of course, how love conquers all. But other than this, there are other small but heart-touching topics involved as well, like hazards of drunkenness, compassion, humanity, ill judgment of the society, insecurity felt by kids, and of course, love. An unnamed poor woman dies from excess alcohol consumption. She had been an outcast in her village due to her addiction, but her death brought the sympathy of the villagers to her orphaned children. So they arranged a proper funeral for her. The woman had 3 children. A farmer decided to adopt the eldest son, thinking he can help him in his field work. The middle daughter, Kate, who is a few years too young to work anywhere, is adopted by Mrs. Ellis. The youngest child, Maggie, gets left alone because of her health. When she was much younger, she fell from a window and the fall had damaged her spine. Hence, she was permanently bedridden. Everyone suggests sending her to the poorhouse, but no one makes an effort to do something about it. After the funeral, everyone leaves without even a glance at Maggie, but Joe Thompson lingers. Joe works as a wheelwright in the village and makes wheels for wagons and carts. Though he looks to be a rough man, Joe is kind and loves children, but he and his wife are childless. Maggie sees all the villagers leaving and also notices that Joe is still standing outside her hovel. He calls out to him and pleads him not to leave her alone. Even though Joe knows that his wife, Jane Thompson, will not be very happy to see Maggie, he carries the kid to his home. As he had guessed, his wife is not happy to see her and asks him when he is going to get rid of her. In answer, he says that he has read many times in the Bible that those who help children shall not be unrewarded. Joe also requests her to put aside her heart's bitterness and see how cruel life is for Maggie, motherless, homeless, and permanently bedridden. Though Mrs. Thompson does not say anything to her husband, her heart softens a little towards Maggie. Joe tells his wife that he will make errands tomorrow to send Maggie to the poorhouse and leaves for work. After dusk, when he comes home, he sees from the window that Mrs. Thompson is sitting by Maggie's bed and they are talking, or rather, Maggie is answering Mrs. Thompson's questions. He feels it to be best not to bring up the topic of Maggie himself, so he does not say anything further on the subject. He goes to see Maggie and they talk for a while. While having supper, Mrs. Thompson asks her husband what he is going to do with the child, in answer to which Joe tells that she will be sent to the poorhouse the next day. Mrs. Thompson doesn't say anything, but Joe knows that years of bitterness have finally started fading away. She takes food for Maggie into her small chamber and waits for her to finish it. Maggie's innocence, sweetness, unconditional love and gratitude for them fills the void that had formed in Mrs. Thompson's heart. She tells Joe that she wants to keep Maggie for a couple of days more, but that day never comes when she had thought she would send her away. They remain together forever as a family. How the little child melts her stoned heart is what the story is all about. Both Joe and Jane take Maggie into their home, though she is crippled and pitied by others. Nobody else is prepared to do it, and it is noticeable that Maggie brings a change in Jane's life. No longer is Mrs. Thompson as cold as she had been, despite initially wanting to see Maggie to be sent to the poorhouse. It is as though Maggie is filling a void in their lives with them having no children of their own. It is also significant that the reason that nobody wishes to take care of Maggie is because they view her as a cripple, and as such she will be unable to work and will need constant support. Support that Mr. and Mrs. Thompson eventually understand they are capable of giving to Maggie. If anything, both of them become caring surrogate parents to Maggie, and as far as the reader can tell, Maggie is full of happiness in her new home. Having lived a life of near solitude while she lived with her siblings and her mother, she is full of gratitude for the Thompsons for giving her a new and better life. It is also interesting that Maggie is ostracized by others based solely on her physical disabilities. It is as though her neighbors are judging her because she is crippled and they can see her of being of no practical use. This may be important, as the author may be suggesting that some people place a value on a person's life based solely on that person's ability to perform some type of work. It is clear to us that Maggie, however, may never work in the traditional sense, although she does have other attributes that will be of benefit to her. She is a grateful and appreciative child, and it is for this reason that the normally stiff and cold Mrs. Thompson most likely melts and falls in love with Maggie and sees in her what others refuse to see. The end of the story is interesting, as it becomes clear to the reader that Joe Thompson and his wife have got attached to Maggie. She is like the daughter that Mrs. Thompson never had, and as such she does not wish to give her up. This also explains the title of the story, as for most people, looking after Maggie would not only be a burden, but a hindrance too. This is not the case for the Thompsons. It is as though there is a new spark in their lives, and that spark is Maggie. A young crippled girl who has so much love to offer that it may possibly overwhelm Mrs. Thompson due to the attachment that she develops when it comes to looking after Maggie. After the tragedy of losing her mother, Maggie has found a new mother who will love and take care of her as if she was her own child. If anything, the future looks brighter for not only Maggie but also for the Thompsons. The author refers to Maggie as the precious burden, a child who may be a physical burden due to her ill health, but who spreads precious love and joy in the lives of the Thompsons. Maggie is the angel who comes in disguise in the lives of the Thompsons and fills the void of living childless years.